Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time to jump on here tonight. We are doing a pop-up training. This is something that I'm really, really excited about. We have a rock star in the midst of us tonight. Rachel Jones is a presidential diamond, and she is just slaying it right now. She has an amazing story, and I wondered, before we go right into this training that's literally going to change the face of our business and Black Diamond Team, I want her to share a little bit about her story because she's so inspirational. She's been where a lot of you are now. And so anyway, let me just unmute you, Rachel. There you are. And put this on speaker view. Hey, how are you?
Hi, good. I can't even believe we literally made this work in like 5 months. No life right here.
I like, you guys, this is how awesome she is. So I've been like picking her brain about what's going on with this new way she's rocking her team out. And then I was like, well, can you get on tonight? And she's like, yeah. So that's why this happened the way that it did. So we have amazing leadership within It Works that are one team, one mission. So awesome, girl. Well, thank you for doing this. Would you mind just kind of sharing a little bit about your story?
Yes. So I'm super excited, you guys. And listen, this is what's so crazy is that I'm not even trying to like toot my own horn or anything, but what I'm going to share with you guys is going to make the remainder of this month just fun. And it will, if you really take it seriously and put in the work, and literally I will walk you through every single step that I'm doing. It will change your entire business, and it will make it almost impossible for you to get a like crappy check in January when you get December's check. And so I promise that it works. I have signed 22 customers, and two of my diamond leaders have signed 19. So it does work, and it's not just me working. The girls on my team that are taking advantage of it, it's working for. But like with everything, there's people that aren't going to do it no matter how much I preach on it. So I just want to give you a little taste of it because you're going to be really excited about it. But about my story. So okay, so I've been in the business for 3 years now. I'm a presidential diamond. And so if we were just to start from the very beginning, I was 22 when I joined, and I had one son, and he was 8 months old at the time. I was a full-time college student going to school for social work. I was a full-time waitress as much as I could when I wasn't doing school, a new mom, and then Zach had actually just proposed to me like 2 weeks right before It Works. So he had financed our ring. We were on government assistance, like as a young mom, we were literally the definition of young parents. Living on government assistance, paycheck to paycheck, not seeing each other, relying on other people to raise our kid whenever we couldn't. And so we've been together for 8 years. We're high school sweethearts. And so this is the crazy thing is that I tried a network marketing company. I try not to name drop, but sometimes it flies out of my mouth. But I tried a company when I was 20 years old, right out of high school, and there was no reason for it. I just got talked into it by like a very older woman. It was the weirdest thing because I was literally in like my drunken stages of partying. Zach and I were on a break, and I was trying to sell these products. And how it worked was that you like literally passed out flyers, you placed one big bulk order, and then you like went door to door to deliver it. And I tried that, and it was not my thing at all, especially in college, getting drunk all the time. And so because the reason I'd say that is because I had sucked at that, I wasn't trying to be a part of anything else because I'm like, if that sucks, like they probably all suck, and I'm just not cut out for it. And so I saw one person only, and this is what's crazy, and this is what I include in my story. And it's not that I'm a mean person. She quit, and she's been blocked on my social media for a long time. There was a major bad fallout, but this is the thing that I say, and maybe it's a little like tip. She was the only person posting on my social media about It Works. When we were in high school, we were in different friend groups. She was not someone like that I would have been allowed to hang out with, like super different. And she just wasn't a good person, but nobody else was posting about It Works on my Facebook. I didn't have anyone, like I had never heard of it before, so I was kind of stuck with her. So I add this in when I'm talking about this because you always, like at the point we're at now, we're not saturated, but the point we're at now, you'd be really lucky if you're the only one on someone's feed. There's at least one other person probably on someone's feed, right? There's people have heard about it now, some people. And so you want to be the one they choose, because I'm telling you, if there was anyone else on my social media, anyone, I would have signed up with them, but I was kind of stuck with this girl. And again, she's not in business anymore. and we're not friends, but it's okay. So I try to just throw that in there because I tell my team all the time, like, you just want to be the one they pick. Be likable, be you, and It Works in the life you're sharing. And people fall in love with that. So that was just completely random. But she was posting about the products, and all I saw was her posting about the wrap and posting about the wrap, and she was just posting about her thighs. And I thought it was going to make me skinny like everybody does. And I bought one wrap because my birthday is September 11th. And so I get a $25 check from my sister every year. So I had her contact the girl. She bought me a wrap. My results were good. The girl tried to get me as a customer. And that in that moment, I was kind of like, wow, like I just wasted this chick's time. I talked to her for like a week straight, all like every question in the book about the products itself. And I'm like, dang, I can't afford to be a customer. And then it kind of like life hit me of like, this is really what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. You're never going to be able to spoil yourself. You're never going to be able to do stuff like this. And it sounds silly, like just a body wrap, but I wanted to just to splurge. I don't know. It was just crappy. And so I said I was sorry. And I said I just was never going to be able to buy them. And she brought up being on her team. And we just talked for a couple hours. And I had this feeling in my heart and soul that it was going to be different than that last company. And it was going to be different than anything I would ever have my hands on. And I texted my mom and I texted Zach. And my mom was like, don't do those scam things, like every mom, I guess, whatever. And then Zach, I remember calling his emergency line. He was a manager at a call center. I texted him and I called him. And he was like so mad because he was frustrated because I knew that we had no money. We had a joint account. So he was like, we don't have money in the bank account. So why are you even asking me? Well, I knew we had a credit card and I just had this feeling. And so Zach talks about this once in a blue moon when he gets on trainings, but like when you're in a relationship with someone, they might not understand what you have your hands on. So he might have been skeptical of the business. He might have been, all about finances and this isn't smart and all that, but he loved me and he was in a relationship with me. And I don't want to say I wear the pants, but I get my way if it's important to me. And he knew that and he could feel it. And I just remember telling him, I'm going to do it anyway. So just give me your blessing. And he did. And he told me that I just had to make that $100 back. If I sucked, I sucked, but I had to at least make it back. And so I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I thought that that'd be boring. My son was only 8 months old. He wasn't really doing anything. And so I thought it'd be boring. So my son wasn't a part of my why. Zach was. And I just wanted to do more than make that $100 back. So I went diamond in 3 months to get that $10,000 bonus. And that was still while I was in college. I was a full-time student and planning our wedding and then being a mom. So I was doing it throughout that. And so I knew that it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be hard to do that. But I just love a challenge and I was freaking ready for it and I fought so hard and I knew I needed a plan. And so my plan was like I told myself I was gonna go ruby in my first month, emerald in my second, and diamond in my third, and it felt perfect. But I ended up going executive my first month, so I knew I had to turn it up a notch, and I was psycho all of November in 2014, and I double promoted to emerald, and then I went diamond. And so when we got that first check in January, that first 4-figure check, and the comma was a game changer. And it's funny because everyone would tell me that. Zach was never mean. He was never mean. He was just always like, go, like you signed a loyal, like go, but not really getting it. But it was such a game changer because he started to dream and started to like have ideas of our future. It was such a game changer. The money was a game changer for the financial reasons, but it was so much deeper because we were dreaming, and he started entertaining the fact of me being a stay-at-home mom, and stuff got crazy. So I ended up boxing myself for double that 4th month. And then the next month I actually went double. And that was when Mark, for the first time, doubled the good bonuses. So I got 30 and Zach was my diamond and he got 20. So that was 5 months in, we were earning 60,000 in bonuses, and our businesses just blew up because all these people were like, wow, like it really is real. Like, wow. And people in our small town like thought we were famous, and it was freaking so cool because the money was so real. And so we did that in February 28th of 2015. And then the next day when we woke up on February 29th, we just decided not to go back to work, both of us. And it was so freaking crazy. Our family was like, are you sure you both want to do this at the same time? And we were scared. I was scared. I don't know if Zach was scared. I was so scared, but I knew that making this drastic legit move 5 months in, like we couldn't turn back if that was even an option. And so we ran hard, and I was boxed for triple that 6th month. And then before I knew it, one leg after another crumbled, and broke my heart because I'm a yellow, and no one told me about quitters. Like, no one told me that everyone had a season, and timing is everything and all this stuff, and they would come and go. And I was so naive that, like, I loved the business so much, and I was a lifer, that I was like, well, they're going to be the same as me. And I never thought about it. So when it was like one diamond and then a ruby and then an emerald, and it was everybody, it hit hard. But I never lost double. I had a really strong team in the right ways, but the people I needed for triple all crashed. And so it took me a year from then to actually hit triple. And Mark, it was last year, Mark brought out the double good again. And I knew that I had to go triple diamond and get that $50,000 bonus. And so I had waited a year. I mean, not waited, but like rebuilt and took time and poured into people and prayed them in, blessed them out, all of that. And I knew it was my time. But that third diamond was icky. And I worked so hard. I was so mean to Zach. Like, our marriage was struggling. I'm not saying this was okay, but like, I worked so hard. It works and nothing else, because I had to go triple. And I remember on the 25th, I was like 4,000 in volume away. And I was just crying, and I was like sick to my stomach. Like, I felt like the world was over. I was like, I'm not doing it. Like, my life is over. I'm not going to get it. And I remember just being so mad at Zach, because he was like, it's just not your time. Like, it's okay. And he was so calm, and I was just devastated because I just wanted triple diamond, and it was just crazy. And so I worked so hard, and I went triple diamond. I forced it as hard as I could. It was horrible, and I do regret it, but I went triple last year of February. And then a month later, we found out we were pregnant, and we had been trying since our wedding. So it was great. And then I remember finding out it was a boy. So this would be our second boy. And I was so kind of excited about the fact that I knew it was going to be a good pregnancy, because I had a boy already, and it was a breeze. I gained a lot of weight, but it was a breeze. And so I was excited, but before I knew it, like, my world was rocked. Like, I puked every single day until almost out of the second trimester. It was more than that. I was depressed. I wasn't myself. I hated everybody. I felt like I was just exhausted every single day. I was lazy. It just was freaking hard. And so I remember getting our first triple diamond check, and it was well over 5 figures, and we did not expect it, and we were so excited. And then the next month was the first month of me like getting sick every day, and like that new pregnancy uckiness. And I remember we were at the zoo, and prelims posted, and everyone was excited. And you guys know how that is. Like, everyone checks their phone right away. And I was like, don't look. Let's just enjoy our time. We'll do it when we get in the car. Like, I don't want anything to ruin it, because that was the first month in my entire business that I really slowed down. I was doing the bare minimum, and I knew we would fall below 5 figures. And I'm just so competitive, and I knew it would crush my spirit. So I didn't want it to happen at the zoo, because I'm dramatic. So we got in the car, and I remember logging in, and I'm just shaking. And our check went up 2,000, and we were making presidential diamond pay as a triple. And I just remember we were like, what the heck? And it was just so crazy. And instead of using that as like, maybe God just like giving me a blessing in the sense of like warning, I was like, wow, well, that's what it's like to not work. And I'm so lucky, and I don't have to work, and I can enjoy my pregnancy as much as I can. And I just got lazier. I don't know if you want to call it lazy, but like, I let my pregnancy take over. And so I just slowly went from like, it works being in like my rear view mirror to like, I was speeding, and it was like way back there. It was like not even me faking it anymore. It was just blah, because I was so caught up in my pregnancy and the way it was making me feel, and not feeling like myself, and getting sick, and just hating, Zach, and my everything in my life felt hard last summer, that I didn't want to quit It Works. I didn't want to suck at it, but it was so far down on my priorities, and I felt like I just sucked at life, that I didn't have anything in me to make it work. And so I remember in August, Zach talked to me, and he was like, listen, you need to wrap your head around the fact that you're gonna lose rank. And I just remember being so angry, because I knew I was going to. We were so far, and I was so mad at him, but I knew it was going to happen. And so when I lost the rank, and then I woke up the next morning on September 1st, and it was like previous paid as a double diamond, I just was like, just forget this. Like, I'm just so over this. Like, I'm just going to get through my pregnancy, whatever. I'm just going to get in my little shell. And I was so angry. I was mad at my team, because I blamed them. I was mad at the company. I was mad at Zach. I was mad at everyone, including my baby that was growing inside of me. And I feel like I have this guilt. Like I went all out on his first birthday last month, and people were like, you're psycho. Like, we spent hundreds of dollars. And I was like, but I have this guilt. I feel like I was just so horrible to him. Like, I never loved my pregnancy. I rarely loved my pregnancy throughout it because I was just so angry. And so I feel like I owe my youngest my life. But so I lost Triple, and then our check obviously went down a lot. And then I had him in November of last year. And that same month, I was so caught up in, you know, having my son and then transitioning into a family of 3 to 4 that I lost Double Diamond. And that was really like the icing on the cake, where I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm not supposed to be in the company or whatever. I always had a strong double, like I said, when I was boxed for triple, and that crumbled. Like, I never lost double, and I never thought I would. I was always well above maintaining. And so I was so scared because, you know, when you go from not making any money to making a lot of money, you sometimes spend more money than you have, right? I was never taught finances. I mean, you start to live outside your means a little, your bills at least go up. And so we screwed ourselves with that. And we weren't being the best Christians when it came to being debt free and everything that came with it. And so I'm starting to panic at the end of November of last year, like, crap. And Zach's like, I stopped fighting him. He had been trying to get a job since like September. And I was like, no, I can't let anyone know that. Like, I was so scared about what everyone would think. And I didn't want to be a joke. We've been preaching about how we were a stay-at-home family for so long. And so I finally stopped fighting him over it. And he started applying for jobs in December, and he ended up getting hired on. And they said he was going to start in the middle of January of 2017 and blah, blah, blah. All of December, I was wrapping my head around the fact that I was going to be kind of a single mom and how I'm going to get my act together. My son, Eli, was such a hard baby. He cried every single day until like 7 months. He had all these issues that we couldn't figure out what they were until 6 months in. We find out it was reflux. And it's like, how can you not figure that out in the beginning? Oh, it was chaos. So all of December, I'm like trying to figure out how I'm going to make It Works work again. And I just remember, and I get so emotional when I talk about this part because it's so, and I know people can relate to this. It's so hard when you have such a passion for something and it becomes such a big part of your life, and then you like lost it and you feel like you suck at life, and you're like feeling like you lost your identity and you don't even really know which way's left from right. And I remember December I think it makes me emotional because it was literally this time of last year, and I would spend times in this office and just be like, God, like, slam the door in my face if it's not for me. Like, please just make it obvious, because it's almost worse, like, not knowing. Like, am I supposed to be in it? Am I not? Like, I just needed God to show up. And there was never any, like, crazy moment of, like, I knew. He just never slammed it. And I was like, okay, so I should probably just figure it out. And so I just remember I made a video for my team, and I was just sobbing in it because I never told them I lost rank twice. And I never told them about how bad my pregnancy was, or Zach and I struggling at one point and all this stuff. And I went hard on it. And I just was like, I'm so sorry. But like, I'm here, I'm back. I promise. Actions speak louder than words. Like, trust me. And then at the end, like, I switched it into red for like 5 minutes. And I was like, I need to know, like, if you're in or you're out, because I promised 2017 is going to be so good. And I didn't even know what I was going to do, but I knew I had to do something. And so I sent this video to everyone outside of my strong leg. Lachelle's on my team. She's my strong leg, so I don't have to worry about her if you know Lachelle. And she's always been good at covering her end. So I took everyone outside of her, and I got on eSpeed, and I just started emailing it to everybody I could. And a lot of people ignored me, and a lot of people said, like, I'm sorry, Rachel, I'm not interested anymore, or whatever, to be expected. But there was a small amount of people, like 8 to 11 people, that said, I don't have anything to lose. Like, I want to, whatever. And I'm telling you guys, this is how crazy. Like, I did not have any like one up on you at all. This is what's crazy. I put them in a chat for like January of 2017, like getting them hyped up because I was ready to close 2016's chapter and start a new one. And they were all paid as distributors at that time. No matter if they had gone Emerald at one point or Ruby, they were all paid rank as distributors. So I didn't have much to work with, but I had a small amount of people. And so I got out a diamond chart. I knew I had to do it. I had to rip off the Band-Aid. I got out a blank diamond chart. Mind you, I was a lifetime triple rank, which means I should be going for Prez. And I could not even fill out half of it. And so this is like at the end of December-ish. And I'm like, again, just ticked off. Like, what do you want from me? Like, what do I do with this? What do I even do with this? This is disgusting to me because I should be going pres, and I was just dramatic again. And so I just was like, I just got to get over it and stop having a pity party for myself, because I'm all about feeling bad for myself. I've always been that way, and it's held me back. And I had an aha moment with that. And so in January, I just would spend nights just watching YouTube videos again, taking notes, watching YouTube, taking notes, doing everything I did in the beginning. And I know that sounds so cliche of like, everyone always says that, go back to the basics. But when you actually do it, you get that confidence back. Because I would watch YouTube videos, take notes, and then retrain my team. And then they started to look up to me and ask me questions again. And I started feeling good. And then I started being honest and open about my story to other, like Tiffany's my upline. On her page, I would go on her page and I'd talk about how my pregnancy sucked, but guess what? I'm back, and like all this stuff. And then people would start to message me again on my team and outside my team that would say like, I helped them or whatever. And I started having those feelings of like, my heart was becoming full again. And I'm like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is what it's all about. And I am someone special. I'm not whatever I had myself convinced of. And so what I did in January, I did pour into like groups on Facebook. That's how I found a lot of my new friends, but I won't get into that because I do want to share like what I've been doing now. But what I would do is I took myself off the pedestal that I didn't realize I was on. And people might agree with this or not. I mean, I guess it depends on your personality, but I had to get myself to a point of being okay with sharing with my small team that I had, those 8 to 10 or whatever people that told me that they're in it. I had to be honest and tell them how bad we were struggling. Because I needed them to know how bad I needed them and how bad I was putting myself on their level, and we were doing it together. So I remember them telling them, you know, like a little bit about how bad we were struggling in December and how like, we're not making very much money. Like, I need you guys. We need each other. Like, I'm no different than you. I'm struggling just as hard. Like, let's do this together. And so I did that, and there was like that trust again. And then every time I signed someone, I would literally tell them step by step what the conversation was about. If it was a loyal customer that I had to talk to for a whole year, I would scroll, screenshot as many like key points as possible. And it was so annoying because I'm like, these people know, like some of them have been with me for 2 years, and I'm like, these people should know, but they needed to see little things that I would say here, or a voice message here, or how I truly signed them. And whether it was like, oh, I learned this little nugget, or wow, like you can sign people in crazy ways sometimes, I would do that. And then they started enrolling people. I remember offering a Steps to Success contest for like, and this was a fight Zach and I had because money was we were struggling at the beginning of this year hard. And I was like, babe, I need to offer everybody in that chat $50 if they submit or they finish their Steps to Success. And that was so much money. And I was like, not everyone's going to do it. And 3 people did it. And they were people that had been in for 2 years and they had never filled one out before. It was so crazy. And so anyways, long story short, I kept going hard and I went double again. I re-promoted to double in February. And then in March, I regained triple. And then April 1st happened. And I was like, okay, I woke up and I'm like, it's the last month for me to get that $50,000. And I've never not gotten a bonus. Bonuses are not everything, but I just was like, I can do it. I'm gonna like, this is gonna be like literally sealing the story, like the end of my story of my comeback. And I am in charge of this and I'm worthy of this. And I know that if I put God first and I just follow his direction he has for me, that I'm gonna do it if it's meant to be. So when I woke up on April 1st, I was 9 people away from Pres and over like 10,000 in volume. Zach made me count it on the first day of the month. I think he was trying to like get me to get it out of my mind. I've never counted volume on the first day of the month, but he told me to and I did. And I put that number in big, bright like letters numbers on my desk. And every single night of April, I recounted all of those boxes and it would come down. It came down every single day, whether it was by 30 or 2,000, whatever. And I worked so hard in April, and I don't need to, I guess, tell you everything I did to get that, but like, it was such a crazy, amazing month. And on April 27th, I went Presidential Diamond. And this is what's so crazy is the next month was Michigan Boot Camp. And it was the 5th. And so I was not even thinking for a second prelims would be posted. But that, I think, was the only time in history, I think, that it was posted that early. Weird, because I've been waiting for my presidential check. And I was with like Tiffany and Megan. And we all logged into my eSuite. And I have had a board, not a dream board necessarily, but a whiteboard since 5 months in when I went double that had a few goals like to the right, like a goal weight that I still have never hit, an amount in savings, presidential diamond, paying off debt, and then $20,000 monthly. That was on for 2.5 years. I never changed it. And I logged in and all I saw was 20 and then a comma. And I just like blacked out, and they were screaming and it was exciting. And then Mark and Pam walked around the corner and we were just crying. And I was like, wow, like what else? Like lay it on me. This is just too much for me to handle. And I remember Tiffany told Pam, like, she just crossed off her goal. Like she made her monthly income or whatever. And Pam was like, well, you better put another number on there. And I was like, yes, 30,000, all hypes and stuff. And so that night was when numbers were released. And I remember not even thinking twice. I just logged into my Wired app and it said 140. And 20,000 was great. Awesome. Like really great. But I have had this goal of being top 150, and it's weird. It's the little things that you really want. It's weird. I had a goal of 150 for so long, and I thought that it was so far out of the question for me because of how low my check was in January. In January, my check was like $3,000 as a high-paying paid diamond, and now I'm top 150. Like it was crazy, and just so many emotions hit me in that moment of being reassured, like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am someone, like I am made for this and I can do anything. And I think about the hard work I did for those 4 months. I gave myself a $17,000 raise from January to April. And nobody used me when I went pres. Like, it's not like someone above me was going ambassador. Like I did it on my own. And I worked so hard. I sacrificed so much and I missed out on a lot, but I knew that it would be so worth it. And now, I mean, when I think about like when I was actually going from in January to April, and I'm like, man, this is like, where's the light at the end of the tunnel? This time is taking so long. And I knew I was putting in the work, but it took so long to pay off, literally. And so I remember it feeling like so long. But now looking back, I'm like, that was literally like a hop, skip, jump, and the year's over. And we're blessed beyond belief. And we're just better than we've ever been. And God is so good. And our relationship's good. And like everything's just good. And it feels so good. But I think about if I would have quit, because I remember last December just questioning and wondering and questioning. And I mean, I just did a lot of searching, a lot of soul searching, a lot of praying. And again, like, I feel like if I wasn't made for It Works or meant to be, or God wanted me to go back to work or whatever, that would have been an obvious sign, because I trust in our Lord and all of that, but it never happened. So, I mean, I think that there comes a point where whether it's rock bottom or what, we're so caught up in being in our own head. And some of us have been down for a long time. For me, it was like 6 months of literally my check just dropping, dipping, dropping. And I'm just like, you feel like, am I a one-hit wonder? Am I just going through a really long season? Like, am I ever going to come out of this season? I understand all of those feelings. And you guys, last December, when Christmas came, we were making $2,500 and our bills were $3,000. And I remember just feeling sick every day. Our parents didn't know. Nobody knew, because we were triple diamonds. I didn't want anyone to know. And I remember getting all of our credit cards out and calling, and Zach would call all these credit cards, and we'd be like, okay, Walmart, $250 left. Capital One, $33. And we added it all up and we paid for Christmas that way, because I was so mortified. I didn't make the smart decision of maybe skipping out on Christmas, because I was still caught up in, I'm a triple diamond. I should be able to do this. And so I've talked to so many people this month, so many people like on my team and outside, and it kills me because so many people voice message me and they're sobbing and they're like talking about Christmas and how they're struggling and how their husbands are making them go back to work or whatever in January. And it's so sad to me because I was there and I remember those feelings of drowning and feeling alone. And Zach had given up on the business and literally just alone. That feeling of alone is very overwhelming. And it makes my heart hurt because I know some people at the end of the day aren't gonna do what it takes to have their comeback. And that's what's sad, because I'm no different than any of you that might be struggling. I just literally, okay, so this is about, and then before I go into like talking about the cool new thing, this is the thing, is I got to a point, and I don't know if this will be the aha moment that maybe changes something for you, but I got to a point, and this was in January. In January, I remember, that was like my first 30 days of going ham. ham, ham, ham. And we got like a $500 raise. And I was so angry because I thought that it would be thousands. And I was greedy. I was so greedy and mad. And I remember just getting to a point again where I was questioning, and I had to do a lot of reevaluating because again, I wasn't being a very good person in my thought process when it came to money because we've been struggling. And I remember getting to a point in January of just being like, I need to actually wrap my head around if I don't get my act together. Zach's back at work now. Zach ended up working from like January to March, and he's home now and gets to decide what he gets to do with his life, whatever. Okay. But he went back to work, right? And so I'm thinking in January, like, what if I actually have to go back to work? Let's really like envision that, because it scared the crap out of me. So I encourage you to do that deeply. And I remember thinking, and I'm like, okay, so if I go back to work, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Back to the restaurant? Okay, so maybe I go back to the restaurant. They'll hire me back. Now I'm going to have to tell all these people and all of my old regulars how I was a joke and how I'm not good at I'm not good at network marketing. Okay, what's my post going to be on social media when I announce that I'm working again and I'm not with It Works Global? Okay, and then the biggest thing was when I was thinking about, I have a almost 4-year-old son. So he had just turned 3 in January. And when Zach went back to work, Carter would ask me so many different times, when's daddy coming home? Where's daddy? Why? Blah, blah, blah. That's all he knows. Zach came home when he was 1. And so Carter doesn't remember that. He's whatever. Okay, I'm rambling. And I'm thinking about that. All the talks I had with Carter of like, daddy's at work. He'll come home when it's dark, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, who is going to have this talk with Carter when I go back to work? And it just literally felt so real when I actually thought so hard into the posts I make on social media, my conversation with my mom, Zach's parents, like everything. My eyes are burning. My dang fake eyelashes. I literally, like, that was enough for me to stop being so greedy and selfish and pity party and just ridiculous and just getting my act together. And so that was something that really helped me, was envisioning, like, if I don't stop, this is what's going to happen. And it felt so real and so not my life that I made sure it wasn't. And I just have not stopped ever since. And so that has gotten me to here. Okay. So that's gotten me to here. And so it's been a really good year of ups and downs. I mean, there's still, and this is the thing, like, yes, it's been a great year. Like, really, we're deeper in our faith than we ever have been. We've met some more new great people. Like, Zach went to the men's retreat and his life was changed that way. Like, a lot of good stuff has happened this year, but it doesn't mean that after Prez, I didn't wake up under attack multiple times, because so much good was happening. And I had to, still talk myself off the ledge sometimes, not necessarily when it comes to quitting, but when it comes to feelings getting hurt, good leaders leaving, mean things happening when I'm like, I'm such a good person. Like, why is this stuff happening to me, kind of thing. So it still was hard. But here's the thing is, like, I thought about it towards the end of November, because I'm having flashbacks of last year and losing it all and all this stuff. And we're doing so good financially, but I'm like, I'm not, like, why does your check have to go down because it's slow season? I stopped calling it slow season, and I'm like, okay, it's holiday season, because holidays are inevitable. Slow season doesn't have to be slow season, but holidays are always going to be there, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm also trying to really be top 100. I really don't want to be like 105. I want to be on stage as top 100. So I knew that I would have to really just like step it up in every way. And so I was thinking, usually every time around this year, our checks have gone down because we've slowed down, because we've gotten in our head or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, I really, like, Christmas cash was a godsend, because I'm like, I can make up so much. If my check does go down, I can make up for it. And I've earned $2,200 in Christmas cash. So that's been awesome. But this is the thing, is I was like, okay, I need to think of something super crazy, if you want to call it that, but something I've never done to maximize everything on social media that I have. Because I pray about it as much as I can, but I'm very weird, and not weird in public. Like, I have an anxiety of like blitzing still, and I'm a presidential diamond. I need to really just grow up, but I still rely on social media, and the algorithm's been so jacked up. And so I knew I needed to do something. And so what I did is I printed out my friends list. I can't tell you how, because it's so weird, and there is like word swags everywhere, like of different directions. And it was so harsh for me, because I'm so slow sometimes when it comes to technology, but I did it. So you'll have to figure out how to do it. but I printed it out, okay? And so I made it front and back. And this is what I've been doing. This is where it gets really good. This is time consuming, but worth it. So what I did is I got 4 highlighters out. And so I'll tell you exactly what I did, like color for color. I used 4 colors and I like made a little color chart somewhere in here. Oh, right here. I actually had 5, but ignore the last one. That was like, realized it was so much like more ridiculous than I needed. So I had 4 colors. Blue was when I messaged them. Pink was if they were a distributor, whether, I don't care whose they were, as long as they were a distributor, I highlighted it pink. Orange was if they were a loyal. And then green was when I unfriended them. And I didn't think I'd unfriend that many, but I started coming across people that I'm like, how did this person even get on my friends list? Like 20 Facebook friends. They haven't posted since 2013, like crazy stuff like that. They're just taking up space. So this is what I did. I pause for a second. This kind of goes hand in hand. I'm not an organized person, and I do get lazy around the holidays. I get really lazy because I just love everything that happens with Christmas, and I think that the whole month should be just sitting on your couch and just soaking it all in. And that's not good for your business. So I personally, something new that I did is I bought grid or graph paper, whatever it's called, and I made a 6 list, a daily 6 list. And this is like December all the way to the end of the month. And then this was my goals for customers and distributors, was just a goal of 15 and then 5. And then my daily 6 list was I wanted 3 people to host a post for me, and I'll explain all of this. 3 people to host a post for me, 10 new cold messages, 30 minutes of self-development, 10 new Facebook friends, and then 10 new followers, and then 1 whole sheet highlighted front and back. I had to do one of these every single day. I had to. And so I like would talk to my team and stuff, and I'm like, let's hold each other accountable. Like I'm in a couple of groups with different people on my team, and we're like, the person that fills out the most gets like a conference shirt from all the losers, if you want to call it that. I don't know. We have different things, just like fun stuff to like motivate them. And then I'm being held accountable because I'm very unorganized. And so if you see, like I've actually done pretty well, right? And so it's been holding me accountable. And I wake up, maybe this is just me, but I wake up every morning like excited because I know what I have to get done, and this is just the bare minimum. And so usually we have really good sleepers as children. They sleep very well. So we would get up at like 9 when they would wake us up. But I've been setting my alarm. I was setting my alarm for 7, getting out of bed at like 7:20, and then getting work in and getting all my 6 list completely done before the boys woke up. Now I'm moving it to 6 because it's harder for me to get out of bed, and I just need to get more done before they wake up. But it's been fun. And this is what's been happening. I've been getting my stuff done in the morning. And then by nap time and this time, I'm like, well, I guess I should do it again because I'm bored. And it's been so fun. I will type them all, or I'll send a message after. And I can take a picture so you guys can copy it word for word. So let's talk about the friends list, because these two hand in hand have been changing the game. And I'm so excited about this. Like it's December 15th, and I've literally been pumped up every single day. So this is how you're going to do it. You're going to, if your goal is 1 page a day, I've been doing like 2 pages a day-ish because it's really fun. It's been really fun. It's weird. I've never had so much fun like working. But so you're going to go through them, and you're going to start at the top of the list. You're going to just type in their name on Facebook, and then you just look at their Facebook. Just look at their Facebook, find out if they're a distributor, just like do some creeping like we do in everyday life. And so if it's someone that's a distributor or whatever, I'll just unfollow or whatever. Okay, so there's 2 situations. I'll go with one. If it's someone where maybe you look and maybe they have 400 Facebook friends and maybe they post and it's a little bit like, would this person maybe be a headache? Or it's just questionable and you don't know if you'd really want them on your team, because we have those people. God bless them, but we have them. So if it's someone like that, I have been unfollowing them, but I've been messaging them. And this is the thing, is we have to know that even though we might not want them on our team, or they haven't been a customer yet or whatever, doesn't mean that they still can't help us. And so this is what I've been doing. I have been, someone just sent me her information as a loyal customer through Messenger. That makes me cringe every time. Like if it gets hacked, that's on you, not me. People just throw their card. I can't handle it. Okay, sorry, I just got so distracted. So, okay, so if it's someone like that, where maybe they have a little amount of Facebook friends and they're a little bit questionable, they're posting about their drama, whatever, click unfollow. It's gonna clean them out. They're still gonna be your Facebook friends, so if they ever want product or whatever, they can come to you, but they're gonna be taken off your newsfeed and then someone else gets to come in. Okay, so this is what you're gonna do though. You're gonna message them because they can still help you. And you're just gonna say, hey girl, question. That's all I've been sending it. I've probably sent that 400 times this month already. Hey girl, question. Because, okay, there's still people that are always gonna ignore it. It doesn't matter. But for the most part, they're like, oh, what is that? What is it? And then based on the person, if it's like an intimidating person or whatever, sometimes I voice this, sometimes I don't. And I just essentially say, okay, girl, have you tried our product? How would you feel about me giving you a post to copy and paste on your page? Based on who I sign up from it, I can totally hook you up with free product because free is free, right? LOL, doesn't hurt to try. I usually just send something like that. So I'll say it again. I say, hey girl, have you tried our product before? How would you feel about me giving you a post to copy and paste on your wall based on who I sign up from it? I'll hook you up with free product. Free is free, right? Doesn't hurt to try. Something along those lines. And this is why I've worded it like that. It is a little weird. One, because you're saying, I will give you a post to copy and paste on your wall. That is telling them all we have to do is copy and paste. You know, you can't make the mistake of, can you put something up on your wall for me? That's hard for people. Like people think like, what the heck would I say? They think that they have to make it up. So if you word it, I've noticed that wording it in the sense of, can I give you a post to copy and paste on your page? Based on who I sign up from it, I'll totally hook you up with free product. So you're saying that all they have to do is copy and paste. And sometimes if it's like someone that I really know like does not give a crap, I will be like, girl, listen, all you have to do is copy and paste. I will take care of the rest based on who we signed from it, okay? And so then I've thrown in based on who I signed from it, I'll send you free product, because you do not want to accidentally say, all you have to do is put it on your page and I'll send you free product. Because oh, bless this soul, one of my girls on my team made a status like that, had it blow up, and she starts giving the status for them to post. One of these girls was like, so where's my product? And my girl was like, oh, I didn't send anyone from it. And she was like, you said all I have to do is post on your page and I'll get a free product. You're a scam. And it got so crazy. She's like, I'm calling my lawyer. Like crazy Jerry Springer stuff. And she bashed her on social media. It was crazy. And my distributor called me and she was like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. And I was like, I'm not trying to be mean and insensitive here, but why the heck would you say that? You made it seem like that's all she had to do. And so, oh my gosh, it was so scary, because I'm like, all you had to do was just throw in a couple extra words to make it obvious. Okay, so my thing is, if I can sign 4 customers from their post, then I think that's good enough for me to send them a free product, and I'll give them what's on hand, and I'll say, pick your product. That's only you guys, I've done this since April, but this I've really done this month. I've had like at least 150 people post for me, and I've maybe had to send out product like 3 times, because the posts blow up, but a lot of times it's potentials and they don't come through, or they get 3 people or 2 people. And so I will do usually a wrap per 2 customers, unless it's a post where like maybe there's 15 comments, I only sign 1, but like for some reason, like I got good people that I know I can sign later on, whatever, you get to pick. But they do not get free product for just throwing it up on their wall. No, that's not fair. So make sure you word it that way. I can send the wording too. I'll try to send all of it after this in the chat. But okay, so that's what I've been doing. Okay, and so then when they say, yeah, sure, or whatever, still people ignore me, or there are people that will say, no thanks, I'm good, which guess people don't like free stuff, whatever. But the people that say yes, I give them a cleanse post. That's all I use is the cleanse. Just because I've never stepped outside of my box and given I've just never tried a hair, skin, and nail or ThermoFit, so I've never seen what works. And my thing is like, why reinvent the wheel when it's been working great? So I give them a cleanse post, and then they tag me in it, and I have my notifications on my Facebook to where I have to approve stuff. So then it stays in my pending, and every time someone comments, I get to look. I mean, it notifies me, and then I look, and it's not on my page. And this is great because I leave it in my pending unless it's one that like no one commented, because that happens. And this is what's cool is that last month when Mark brought out Bobo Cleanse, oh my gosh, I was like, ah! So I went on the page, I went on everyone's thread, and I was like, message me. And then I would message everybody because people get lost in your inbox. And I was able to get so many customers from people that were interested in the fest. So that's cool. So that's what I've been doing for those people. Okay. So just because you unfollow them, you want to try to unfollow the people that don't interest you, for whatever reason, because we have those people, or, you know, we have someone that turned you down 600 times, whatever. And then I've also been stumbling across, as I'm doing this, people that I'm like, oh, like you pull up their messages and you're like, oh, I messaged her in 2016 and I never messaged her again. Whoops. I will say like, or maybe it was a dead end or whatever. I'll be like, girl, you wanted the cleanse way back when, or you wanted hair, skin, and nails way back when. Want to try getting it for free? All I'll do is send you a post to put on your, like, it keeps going and going and going. So I've been using it for old potential loyals, people that I don't want on my team. And then I'm telling you, you're going to run into all these people. I'm stumbling across multiple people that were on my team for a month or 2 weeks or whatever, and they just never did anything. They're never going to join again. Old distributors. I'm highlighting them pink because they're a distributor, even though they're not anymore. And I'm sending them a message saying, hey girl, what's up? How are you? I have a question. And all of them have messaged me back because we used to be friends, or they know me, or whatever. And then I'm like, okay, so I know you were a distributor way back when, and for whatever reason, it wasn't for you and timing wasn't on your side. Can I give you, and I'll say like, a couple new products have come out since you were a distributor, and can I just give you a post to put up on your wall and based on my sign, maybe you could get them for free. And this is what's crazy is like, I remember coming, my first friends list, my first page on December 1st, I was like, what do I do with all of these pinks? Like all these people that used to be on my team. And I'm like, well, I guess I should still try to like use them, like use their social media, tap into their market. And I was weird about it because I'm like, if they didn't do well the first time, they're probably not going to do well with a post. But the first 3 people that said yes, they would host a post for me were my old distributors. And I signed 1 loyal from each one of their things. And it was weird. It was crazy because I'm like, well, I guess if you couldn't have signed them when you were a distributor, like you're making me money. I mean, they are the ones that are like, yeah, I'll help you. Everybody else is like, yeah, sure. What's up? And so it's been cool. So I've been doing that. And so your goal is to have a whole page highlighted. Okay, there are a couple that I don't highlight, and those are people that I'm like, I can't message yet. Like, I'm so scared. There are people that I still stumble across that I just know I shouldn't. And so you want, in order to finish one, you want the whole thing to be highlighted. So in order for them all to be highlighted, we have to make sure we're touching every single person in some way. And so you will stumble across people that maybe you followed them, still you haven't unfollowed, but you've never seen their post before. And I'm like, who is this girl? I didn't unfollow her. She's never shown up on my stuff. Just shows how messed up the algorithm is. And I'm like, I need her. You guys have those people where you're like, I need her now. And those people, I'm just like, so this is what's cool is that your list comes with dates. So some of them, if they're intimidating, I might use the date to my advantage. And like, girl, we've been friends for 2 years now. Or we've been Facebook friends for 2 years now. Why haven't you joined me yet? Why aren't you doing what I do? Or I'll just say, girl, what's it going to take for you to finally join me? I'm not going anywhere. You see that, like, or something like that. Or if it's someone that I stumble across that lives in my town, because I get weird, like Lachelle lives 30 minutes away, Jade lives 40 minutes away, like we're taking over this area. So I get a little weird, like I don't want to message someone that 50 million people have messaged. So like when it comes to those situations, I'm like, I know you've been asked. I'll say like, girl, I know you've been asked multiple times, why haven't you joined? And so this is what I've been doing this month when I cold message about the team or joining. I'm not saying it works, and I'm not saying my team, because I've realized that when I would do that, no one would give me a chance, because some of them would have that bad stigma or whatever it was. And I was so frustrated. And it's not like I'm trying to hide them apart. It works for anything. But for the most part, if you're friends with these people, like these are all 2015s, like they know what I'm a part of. And if they don't, they're either going to ask or they're going to go creep on my page because they feel bad because they should know, right? And it's been helping because at least they're giving me a chance, and then I can try to get them on the phone accordingly. So that's what I've been doing. I'm going through the list, and then I'm doing that. And so, or some people I'll come across and they have 5,000 Facebook friends or whatever. And they're just not interested in joining, or they weren't, or maybe they're just not ready, or whatever. You get those feelings on people, you guys. I will just be honest. I'll say the same thing of like, hey girl, I have a question. Could I ask for a huge favor? And I will totally hook you up in return. You have such a good, like if it's someone who's a good social media, I'll tell them, you have such a good social media. I know that this post would blow up on your page. And I'm not sure if you tried our product, but we have really good product, and I would send you product for free based on who I sign from it. And then this is what I've also, sorry, I keep on like adding all this stuff. I've also been adding, because it's been really taking off for me. I'll say like, I'll voice message them saying, I've been offering this, I've been going through my friends list because I'm stumbling across people that I didn't even realize I was friends with or I haven't seen in so long. And I've been offering this to people because it's around the holidays and not everybody has money, and free is free. Like you have to, again, like re-get that in their head, because who can really turn down free? And then I'm just like, and it doesn't hurt to try, because you have a good social media and it's been blowing up for people. I just wanted to offer this to you and see if it's something you'd be interested in. And you just have to know how to word it. And you're not tricking anyone. You're not doing anything. You're saying based on who I sign up. So if you're worried about that or whatever, like there was a girl 2 days ago, and she was like, she had like 30 comments on her thing, but nobody would sign up. And I was so frustrated. And she was one of the few people that messaged me, and she was like, so what do I get to pick from? And I was like, girlfriend, no one's signing up. Like, what the heck? Like, give me a couple days. I'm working hard. I'm going to get them. And then what had actually happened was I signed one customer from it. But this is the thing. This is what I left out on accident. When these people host a post for you, post the cleanse post, you're going to get comments. You're going to add them on Facebook, and then you're going to comment, hey girl, I messaged you, check your filtered inbox. And so half of that, some people don't accept your friend request, but for the most part, people accept your friend request. And I've already had like 150 accepted friends this month. And so like you're getting new friends, you're getting new potentials. And this is so crazy too. I forget. There's so much good that I'm forgetting all this stuff. Okay. I've signed 3 distributors this month, all in the past 48 hours. And all 3 of them were host-to-post people. They commented about the cleanse. One of them commented saying, me, I want the cleanse. And I messaged her. And she was like, girl, I don't have money. And I was like, I just had a weird feeling. I felt a nudge. And I'm like, it sounds like you would actually do more. You would benefit more from being on my team. And I just explained to her, I had to say team in that sense. And I explained to her, and we went back and forth. She ended up telling me her and her husband are in the military. Long story short, she really needs it. She's on maternity leave. She's a good learner, all this stuff. And I got her on my team like 3 days after I talked to her. Okay. And then the other 2 commented on someone's thread saying, me, I want hook me up. And I messaged them. And so what I do is I add them. And when they accept me, I look at their Facebook. Both of these girls had over 3,000 Facebook friends, and they were stunningly beautiful. And I'm like, I'm just going to be ballsy here. And I'm just going to take a chance, because if you don't ask, it's always no. And so they were like, so what's up? Like, what do I have to do to get it? And I messaged them, voice messaged them. And I'm like, I'm not trying to sound crazy, but maybe I'm trying to sound crazy. I just sucked your life, and you cannot buy the cleanse because I need you to trust me. You would kill it doing what I do. And I'm just voicing them this. I'm voice messaging it because, one, I'm a stranger. It's already weird. And I'm just like, listen, like I know you wanted the cleanse, blah, 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 but like you can get it at my discount. And instead of making me money, you can make your own money, and you can get it for free. And I just say that because they're like, how do I get it for free? And I'm like, girl, we just get a couple customers when you join, and you get a shopping spree. And like, we just, whatever. So I've been talking to them, and they're like, well, how much do I pay? And I'm like, only like $50 more to start your business. And this. And I was so scared to message them, because I did do that in the past. And sometimes I lost them all completely. And I'm like, no, come back, at least be my customer for the cleanse. Like, I'm sorry I scared you away. But I had this feeling with them, and I needed them. And they were like, I didn't even know that was an option. We have to remember that some people don't even know that they can make money. And so I learned this the hard way, because in April was when I started hosting a post, and then I slowed down, whatever, and I would do a couple at the end of month for just signing customers. But I did this in April, you guys, when I went press, and I got 39 customers, and I've never even signed in the 20s. Now I'm at 21 or 22. And so I did this, and so it works. But the thing is I would sign these customers. They would be new friends on my Facebook. And then I'd start talking about, oh my gosh, I'm getting a $50,000 bonus. I'm going press. And people would be like, how are you making so much money? Can I just join your team instead? And I was so annoyed in April, because I'm like, oh, I need the volume. But yes, let's sign you as a distributor and cancel your loyal customer account. And it's funny, because some you guys might be like, oh, I want a distributor. But it's funny because people just don't even know. And so I started doing that. And then, sorry, I'm getting way hyped. And then one of my rubies had this brilliant idea She voice messaged me 2 nights ago and she was like, can I just tell you something? I signed 2 distributors in a day and I need to tell you how. And I was like, yeah, girl, tell me. And she was like, this is what I've been doing. She was like, when I send them the cleanse information, because what we do is we comment and we say, okay, girl, I'm messaging you, check your inbox. And then I have a script. I use scripts in this sense because you're explaining the cleanse the same way to everybody. So I just say the cleanse is our all natural herbal, whatever, everything about it. It's just a little blurb. After that, when they say, okay, like, how do I get it? Or whatever, what's next? She had been voice messaging them and she just was saying, okay, so you can get my discount, which was $36 and become a loyal customer, which is great and blah, blah, blah. Oh, and you can make me money, or you can get my discount, blah, 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 make yourself money and potentially get it for free plus whatever. And so, like, she worded it in a cute little manner of this or that, making me money opposed to making you money, getting the same discount, which offer do you want? And 2 girls were like, $50 more just to become a customer or just become a distributor and make money sounds great. And so she signed 2 girls up that way. Mind blowing, because if you don't offer it, some people just never think it's an option or never know. And it's been so crazy. So that's been happening. And that's been awesome. So it's crazy that all 3 of my distributors have been from Host to Post. And it's crazy. And one of my girls that I signed last night or the night before or whatever, sent me a Starbucks card, a $10 Starbucks card through text messages. And she was like, Rachel, I know we haven't met and this is literally the beginning of my journey, but I know that God led that post into my life for a reason. And I can't even believe I saw a cleanse post and now I literally made $100 in 24 hours because she signed 5 customers because she had 3,000 Facebook friends. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what is this life? Like, this is the crazy thing is I'm only through 13 Facebook pages and I have like 90. Can you imagine? And this is why I'm fun and it's fun and I'm addicted to it because I'm like, if I have signed 22 plus 3 customers with this small amount of papers, I can only imagine once I keep going. And so what I did is I got my diamonds on a Zoom first. And I'm like, you guys take me seriously. This is not something I'm telling you to do. And you guys turn your cheek and just run away. Like, I'm being serious. I've already signed this many people. And I went like step by step through it with them. And then I'm like, now you guys got to trickle it down into your team and do it with your team. And then I would get on a couple other Zooms. Like I have a Zoom in a little bit with a couple girls that aren't doing it. And I'm going to make them because it's killing me. But I would do Zooms with them. And so this is what we've been doing. I promised myself, because I get a little Zoom crazy sometimes with like always wanting to interview people because I just love people and I want my team to see all these people that I get to see on the leadership pages and whatnot that they don't get to like touch on. And I told myself this month, I'm like, I'm not going to interview anyone this month. I'm only going to do work Zooms, not power hours, because in power hours, I'm ordering them to do stuff. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm paying attention to the timer and doing all this stuff. I've been doing work Zooms. And so whenever I have time, I'm like on my team page, hey guys, here's my ID, doing a work Zoom. And I would in the beginning say, only if you have your friends list printed, but now they all have it printed that they know that's what we're doing this month. And then I put on some Christian music. And then I have this up and it shines orange when people comment. So if someone comes across a response and they're like, what do I say? I'll help them. I'll just look up a couple times and I just have the music playing. And you guys, we always say 60 minutes. And there's been multiple nights this month where it's been 3 hours. And I'm like, oh, I got to go. And I should probably watch a movie with my husband. That was fun, guys. See you tomorrow. And it's been so fun because then we're on there and we're like, oh, sign a customer. Or we're like in the chat, got a host to post. Oh, my 6th host to post. And it's fun. And you're working together and you're able to work because if you're in charge of Zooms, you don't get to do stuff sometimes. So it's been great. And we're all tackling it. And like I said, a lot of my girls have signed a lot of customers, a couple right underneath me with their enrollments. And it's just great. And so it's tedious, you guys. Like this morning I woke up at 6, got out of bed at 6:20 and I'm just like, I started this book, Millionaire Mind, and I just want to read. I love to read, but I never make time for it. And I got through half a page and I was like, maybe I should just do half a page today. But I didn't because I just know this is gold. It's tiring because you're talking to a lot of people. I've sent hundreds of messages, but it's worth it. And so that's all I've been doing. I've just been, you guys have to be the one to determine who you do want on your team and who you don't, or who you're going to ask. Just because you ask them to host a post doesn't mean they can never join your team. A lot of girls are new potentials because they're like, I didn't know that many people would be interested. And I'm like, girl, and that's only the cleanse. And they're all hyped and stuff. And I feel like those are the people that will join in January. Easier than now. So that's really everything. I think I touched up on everything. I know people probably want like scripts and posts and pictures and stuff, and I can send those after this.
Yeah, and I thank you so much. I know you have to jump off here because you've got another Zoom to do. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to do this. This was gold. There's so much information. We've got the recording. They can go back. So yes, whenever you get free time, just send them to me, and then I'll put it out to the team. They're gonna have to get their list printed out. Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait to do this. So thank you so much. If there's anything I can do for your team, please let me know. Can't wait. And so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You guys better go blow up her social media and tell her how much you love her.
Oh, you're sweet.
Awesome, girl. Well, have a good night, everybody. We'll be putting this soon. Bye.